and prisoner from the state, Kevin Brigman, also in the courtroom. My understanding, there's been a plea agreement reached where the defendant will plead guilty to count 1, attempted endangering children, a felony of the 4th degree. He will plead guilty to count 2, disseminating matter harmful to juveniles, misdemeanor of the 1st degree. Correct statement, counsel?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Mr. Bell, how old are you?
Currently 34.
How far did you go?
Between us just like picket fences. You got issues that I won't mention for now, cause we're falling apart.
Hey guys, it's Randomizer. Today we're going to be talking about a famous childhood actor from the show. Y'all probably watching this probably know, Drake and Josh. And one of the main actors in that show was a guy named Drake Bell. He was one of the actors that he played Drake in the show Drake and Josh. And today in this video we are going to be talking about him. And so his fame pretty much started he began to skyrocket in popularity from that show that I just talked about, Drake and Josh. That's where Drake Bell really became famous, and he went on to star in some other. He starred in movies and some other shows, everything seemed to be going well for him, right? Well, in late 2021, one thing that would happen that, it kind of ended things for him. And one bad thing that he did in late 2021 pretty much costed him his career in its entirety, pretty much. But because of one fateful thing that we're going to talk about in this video, that one fateful thing would pretty much put an end to things for him. Tune in because this is the rise and fall of once famous actor Drake Bell. He was born June 27th, 1986, which makes him 35 years old today. And he was born in Newport Beach, CA, which I assume means California. And he has 4 other siblings alongside of him. And obviously, he has 2 parents. This guy started acting at the age of 5, which was back in the early 1990s. So that's very young. And because of his age, and from what I've seen so far, it doesn't, it looks like he hasn't starred at his very young age at the time when he started acting. He didn't seem to star in any major films. He didn't play any major acting roles in TV shows, movies. He really didn't star in anything. He only starred in like a couple of things, but those were for minor roles. Considering his young age, he couldn't really do much else. But I could be wrong. He could have been in some. He could have starred in a famous movie back when he was 5 or 6 or around that young age, around the ages of 5 or 6 or 7. He could have starred in something pretty big, but I don't really know. Once again, so yes, he could have starred in a more like when he was 5. He could have starred in a bigger role that maybe I just didn't know about, but anyways, overall, it didn't seem like he did much in the early days of him acting because of his age, and he didn't really have much to offer back then. But when he was in his teens, he began acting more and more throughout his teenage years, and he overall really seemed to have a passion for acting, and he overall really seemed to enjoy acting in his teen years, and he mainly starred in Nickelodeon shows. That was kind of his main specialty, and that's what he did. Nickelodeon films, Nickelodeon shows, as I just said, and he did it in his teen years, and I mean they weren't really major shows, like they weren't super big shows, but yes, they weren't really big, but he still starred in Nickelodeon shows, and he really seemed to specialize them, have a passion for them, and overall his performances, you could tell, were really spot on because of his passion and his passion, and overall he really seemed to enjoy acting back in his early years of starting out, the first decade he started acting. He really seemed to enjoy it and continued it, and it's obvious to see that in the shows he was in, his acting was very good, and he put a lot of effort into his acting, and it showed. It was really good, and however, what we're going to talk about next would then skyrocket his popularity. Drake and Josh. Ah, yes, the show Drake and Josh. While this Nickelodeon show only ran for 4 seasons and 3 years, this would make Drake Bell a lot more well-known. This show would. Here's a description of Drake and Josh so you could better understand what the show's about. Then, after that ended, that is when he began to star in many more movies and TV shows. And well then, he pretty much went from kind of irrelevant to known by pretty much everyone in a matter of 5 years. Unfortunately though, the devastating year of 2021 then came upon us, and as I just said, it was pretty devastating, and 2021 is unfortunately the year for Drake Bell where his true colors would then come to the surface, and we would then see the real side to Bell. In June of 2021, it came to light that Drake Bell is he basically did what EDP 445 did. It was a little bit different though. I can't really say it on YouTube because I don't want this video to get taken down in any way, if you know what I mean. But he basically did, he basically texted inappropriate things to a minor, to someone that is under the age of 18. So like a teenage girl, and I'm not actually really gonna show the texts on screen because this video, I want it to be as kind of family friendly as possible, even though it's really not. But I just don't want it to be, and I really don't want it to be that more inappropriate. So what I do recommend is you go to if you go to J. Aubrey, so the YouTuber made so this YouTuber made a video on Drake Bell, which I'm doing that right now. Sorry, I can't really talk. Yes, he made a video on Drake Bell, which is what I'm doing right now. His has way more his has a lot more information than mine does, than the one I'm making. But don't worry, still watch all the way to the end of this video, because I have more to talk about than this, if you know what I mean there. But anyways, he pretty much shows the whole investigation of Drake Bell, and he's done that. Okay, he did that stuff, and I'm not really going to show too much more. But he's done bad stuff. He actually, I'm pretty sure he shows the text messages in the. He shows the text messages the text messages between the minor and Drake Bell. So you could see that. They're very disturbing, so they're pretty disturbing, so just a little warning there. But we could also go to Jabroni, the YouTuber Jabroni, and he also has made a video on, and here are the text messages. You could hardly see them, but kind of to be expected. It's basically standard stuff that Drake Bell did, and the couple of months after June 5th of 2021, yeah, those months, basically when he was exposed, he was sent to court, and the minor was there, basically talking about, the minor was also there in court. It was a Zoom session in court, and pretty much the story between the minor and Drake Bell sparked outrage. Like, it sparked everywhere. Everybody, a lot of people knew about it to now. We'll say a lot of people, there's still some, taking Drake Bell's side and kind of and overall kind of questioning the whole situation. But anyways, a lot of people have gotten the information of what Drake Bell has done. For the most part, people were pretty outraged, and which is to be expected when you find out that the person you trusted a lot and you've looked up to and watched over these many years, and to find out what he has done, and you supported this guy, you gave him a career, and then you find out that
he does something like this, like what Drake did. It's pretty heartbreaking, and I can understand that. And after that, the minor speaks out about what Drake Bell did to her, and Drake Bell then ends up getting charged with child endangerment. So he gets charged with child endangerment, and I'm pretty sure he serves some jail time. He probably does for an offense like this, but he's charged with that and sentenced to probation. And he, after this, he pretty much disappears, and speculation, he just kind of disappears after all this, after he's charged, and so yeah, now I'm gonna show y'all guys a response video. So Bell has made this response video to the whole situation surrounding him and with this little girl, and I really want you guys to watch this analysis on his response video, and I think that will give you some pretty good insight on his future, and then I think we'll conclude the video there, and we'll talk about his overall, after y'all watch that really good analysis, in my opinion. We'll talk about the future of Drake Bell, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit more about what I think about him, and shed more light into my opinion. I'm just gonna share my opinion on how I think he's fallen, and what's next for him, basically, if that makes any sense. So after you watch the analysis video overall, then I'm going to talk a little bit more about Drake Bell to end this video. Anyways, enjoy this.
Hi, I'm Drake Bell, not Drake Campana. Soy Drake Bell, yo no soy Drake Campana. A lot of the news that you've been hearing, well, most of the news that you've heard recently is entirely false and wrong. And I feel that you deserve and I owe you an explanation. I didn't change my name, although I would love to. I've never moved to Mexico. I've never been a resident or a citizen of Mexico. I don't have a Mexican passport. I didn't get arrested. I didn't go to jail. I know that this has moved very quickly for you, but for me, it's been a 3-year thorough investigation into every false claim that has been made. And it's not me telling you that the claims are false, but the state of Ohio has proven the claims to be false. If these claims were remotely true, my situation would be very different. I would not be here at home with my wife and my son. But that being said, I'm not perfect, and I made mistakes. I responded to a fan whose age I didn't know. Yet when I became aware of their age, all conversation and communication stopped. And this individual continued to come to shows and pay for meet and greets, and all while I was unaware that this was the same person I was communicating with online. And that's what I pled guilty to. It was reckless and irresponsible text messages. I want to make clear that there were no sexual images, nothing physical between me and this individual. I was not charged with anything physical. I was not charged with disseminating of photographs or images or anything like that. This is strictly over text messages. And when I was presented with a plea deal, because of the messages, I felt that it was the best way to get this over quickly and for everybody involved to be able to move on and for me to get back to doing what I love, and that's making music for you. And I want to thank you for, to everyone who saw through the lies and did their research. It's a lot of by me, and I love you, and I will see you.
All right, now on to analyzing the video, actually. So, people like, so the YouTuber Moist Critical, who was involved a little bit in this case, involving Drake, Drake, yes, so involving him, so Moist Critical called approximately 57 to 58% bullshit on Drake's response video. He didn't really believe all the points that Drake Bell made in the video. Moist Critical didn't, and you're seeing it a tiny bit on the screen right now. But here's the actual video title of that video that I just showed. Here is it on the screen right now. Yeah. Feel free to watch it to get a better idea of what I just talked about.
Overall, that was a documentary I just did on Drake Bell. So yeah, that was his pretty sad story. He had a great acting career. It was an extremely long and a great profile of great things that he participated in and acted in. And he made one mistake, and even though it was kind of an accident, and he does own up to it a little bit, he still did it, and it's pretty, most people consider that to be pretty despicable. And what I think Drake Bell should do now is honestly just relax, kind of just retire from, things that he's doing from acting, just retire from that scene, and just, all I want him to do, all I think Drake Bell should do, apparently I'm some fucking therapist or whatever, but what I think Drake Bell should do is just stop working, stop acting, just chill at home, and he needs to talk to somebody, a professional counselor. He needs to get mental help, so his mental stability, so his mental health is in check, and he needs to learn how not to do this again, and overall needs to learn how not to make the same mistake twice. And overall, I'm really hoping that he does not do this again. I'm glad in his response video he recognized what he did was wrong. I'm glad that he said, "Oh, I made a mistake. It was in the past, but still it was a mistake." But I still, overall, I still think he should talk to a licensed therapist and a licensed therapist, blah. And he just needs to talk to somebody, and he just needs to kind of just retire from acting. And, once he gets himself straight, I think is then where we could see him maybe rise up again one day somehow, strangely. Oh, Drake Bell rising up again one day. We'll see if that happens. I just, Drake Bell right now needs to focus on himself in order to really, climb up again in the ranks of acting. And if he wants to star in more films, then he has to get himself in check. As I just said, talk to a therapist. Recognize what he did was really wrong, and that if he does it again, he is just, unforgivable. He should be off this planet, basically. Overall, I'm just hoping that Drake Bell does not do this again, and that he really learned his lesson, because, he kind of got a second chance here, and he's pretty much walking free right now and living his life. And just overall, I really hope he does not do this again, and that he's really learned his lesson. I'm just hopeful that he's learned his lesson, and he never does this again, basically. Anyways, that's about it for this documentary video. Hopefully y'all enjoyed it, and hopefully tell me what you think of Drake Bell in the comments down below. Should he be in jail right now, or do you think he has a chance of maybe rising again one day? I don't know. Anyways, hopefully this documentary video made sense to you, and hopefully you learned a little bit on hopefully you learned how you can learn more about what Drake Bell did, and hopefully you learned a little bit more about Drake Bell overall, if you didn't already know about him before watching this video. Anyways, I guess I gotta edit this old pepperoni, so I'll see y'all in the next one. Goodbye, peace. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this vid.